Our digital desk. We're about to take you to the verdict that is in a Portage County murder case involving a man who was accused of shooting and killing his own wife. This actually dates back to 2019. The defendant is the man in the red shirt there at the defendant's table on the right. We actually have to go back to January 3rd of 2019. This case has been held up in appeals for some time, but it finally went to trial in the last couple of weeks, and it was a bench trial. As a defendant in the state of Ohio, you have your choice to a trial by jury or to let the judge decide your fate based on the facts of the case. Now, in this case, as I said, we go back to January of 2019. The man in the red shirt, Eric Cunningham, goes to the Portage County Sheriff's Department, and he makes some statements to the staff, and it's not sure exactly what the statements were, but it was enough that the Portage County Sheriff's Department felt that they better get somebody over to their home in Brimfield. So the police chief of Brimfield actually goes to their home there on Hazelnut Drive. If you're from that area, you may know Hazelnut Drive. And as they show up, Cunningham was there, and they search the house, and they find his wife, 33-year-old Lacey Cunningham. She has been shot and is in the garage and obviously does not survive. Cunningham, Eric Cunningham, charged with murder and felony assault. And as I said, this is a bench trial. So the judge there will be making the decision and reading the verdict. We've gotten the all rise, so let's take you into the courtroom in Portage County.
Court, upon considering the evidence, the arguments of counsel, the exhibits that have been admitted throughout the trial, on count one, makes a finding of guilty. On the specification of count one, makes a finding of guilty. On count two, makes a finding of guilty. On specification of count two, makes a finding of guilty. On count three, makes a finding of guilty. And on specification to count three, makes a finding of guilty. And on count four, makes a finding of guilty, and a finding of guilty on the specification there too. The court would further find for the record that the defense failed to prove by a preponderance of evidence not guilty by a reason of insanity. Do you wish to have a PSI? I think they normally want a PSI. I know sentencing is mandatory, but do you wish to have a PSI done before sentencing?
The state is prepared to go forward today. However, if the court or defense requires...
Do you want to, normally, counsel want to approach?
Interesting. First of all, Cunningham found guilty across the board. The judge needs to have a discussion with the attorneys on whether or not sentencing is going to be today. It looks like the state wants to go ahead with sentencing. That would be a little unusual for a murder case. Generally, they set the sentencing out for a couple of weeks, a week or two. That way, any family members can make sure, and presumably, since we knew about this verdict coming in today, that they knew that the verdict would be there. You see the woman shaking her head. They were talking about a PSI. What that is generally a defendant that's been sentenced will meet with a psychologist. They will give you your PSI score. That PSI score is how likely are you to reoffend and how dangerous are you. Let's go back in.
Just for the record, Your Honor.
What?
Just for the record, I provided defense counsel and the court with the recent Ohio Supreme Court decision that addresses the issue of specifications when the offenses merge, so everybody can review. At the time of sentencing, it is going to be the state's position that at least two of the even though the offenses merge, the specifications don't. And I just wanted to provide the case law so everybody can be prepared if they believe the state's interpretation is wrong.
Well, first of all, counsel want to approach, I want to talk to both sides for a second.
We now see Cunningham in cuffs. They're prepared to take him away. It looks like sentencing will be done at a later date. They're talking about specifications here. When you commit a crime in the state of Ohio, if you commit the crime of murder with, say, a gun, that then carries a gun specification. So you're given X amount of years for the murder, and then you're given X amount of years for the fact that you used a gun in the commission of a crime. Really, any weapon that's used in the commission of that crime then adds on specifications, basically so that they can add on multiple years. But Eric Cunningham, the no-nonsense judge, man, he ripped through those charges of murder and assault and all the specifications, guilty across the board, was not wasting any time. Eric Cunningham, guilty of shooting and killing his wife Lacey in their garage back in 2019. He had made comments, I believe, in a phone call.
Otherwise, it's separate elements in count one.
It's the cleanest way to do it, I agree.
It's the cleanest way to do it. Okay, we'll order an expedited PSI. I don't know, can we do this in an expedited PSI in a week?
Yes, that works for the state, Your Honor. Yeah, it works for them also.
Okay.
So you're thinking of...
So why don't we just continue this till Monday of next week?
Is it possible to do it late in the afternoon, Your Honor? I've got some things in the morning on the 23rd.
How late in the afternoon?
Well, if we did it right at 9, I could be here at 9 or 8:30.
Well, I don't know if I have a courtroom at, well, I can get the small courtroom at 9, I would assume.
Okay.
Actually, Your Honor, it would be better to be in the afternoon because I am scheduled to be with Judge Pittman in the morning, and then normally it wouldn't be an issue, but some of the prosecutors assigned to Judge Pittman's court are on vacation.
How late in the afternoon do you want to go? I'm flexible, I can do
Do
that.
3 o'clock, Your Honor?
3 o'clock's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Okay, then we'll continue this till 3 o'clock next Monday
Thank you.
for sentence. Get a PSI, give me time to read this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Come out.
Dan DeRose again with 19 News. As you see, Cunningham being taken away in handcuffs for a crime he committed in 2019. We don't have to say allegedly anymore. The judge has found him guilty on all counts. The judge ordering his PSI, his pre-sentence investigation. I just want to listen into the courtroom here as we see family. Not a big reaction from the family. We saw a couple of tears.
You want to do an entry on what my verdict was?
I think Emily's listening and she's doing it.
Is she going to do it?
But I'll talk to her.
Okay. I want to sign that today.
But again, this case has been held up on appeals on a number of levels. So this is family who's really been through the ringer for the last 4, if not 4+ years.
Come up right in the middle when I was sentencing somebody and take their microphone away.
As long as you say it's okay.
And it does appear that court, for the most part, is over here as the judge gives instructions just for, sounds like actually just for the media there. Again, sentencing will be next Monday, a week from today, at 3 in the afternoon. The pre-sentence investigation, the PSI that I was referencing earlier, anyone, especially on a level of offense as high as murder, it goes to a pre-sentence investigation. They are asked a number of questions. The determination is made, how likely would this person be to reoffend? How dangerous are they to society? And you are given your PSI score. Obviously, the higher the score, the more the judge is going to look at that and decide that you do not need to be a member of society. So they're going to expedite that to get him a PSI score so that there can be a sentencing on Monday. We're going to have a complete wrap-up on this. I believe we might even hear from some family members now that this saga appears to be finally over. Watch our 3 o'clock news coming up on Channel 19. when we start 3.5 hours of news and first alert weather to get the very latest in this case out of Portage County. But again, Eric Cunningham found guilty on all charges and will be sentenced. Actually, here's a live picture as we see family members out in the hallway, very emotional, finally getting the verdict that they believe is the correct verdict. Just want to stay with this for a moment and see if we get any comment from the family there in the hallway. Again, Lacey Cunningham was just 33 years old when she was shot in her home back in 2019 on Hazelnut Drive. This actually happened in Brimfield in Portage County. It was an interesting situation that this all came about. Portage County deputies, they went to the couple's home that evening. They believed that his wife may be in danger because of statements that were made by Eric. And it sounds like we are. There's Harry Boomer. Let's listen in.
S-A-R-A, Long, L-O-N-G, and I'm Lacey's sister.
Talk to me about, number one, what happened to her, and then two, about these verdicts.
She was murdered by her husband, shot 3 times in their garage on New Year's Eve of 2018. We've waited 6 years for this moment, and we did it for her. Like, I know it was all for her. So, yeah, I think I'm in shock. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's to be understood. I mean,
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more about how much the family's gone through for this, just waiting
Yeah.
and their loss.
It just felt like we couldn't fully grieve because we were always just in limbo waiting for the next court date. And there were so many trial dates set up, and then something would always happen, and then we'd be all up, and then we'd crash back down. I honestly never thought it would happen. I know it had to happen, but I honestly felt like it was never even going to happen. But it happened, so it was a lot. It was a shock when it happened, and it's still hard to accept even 6 years ago. I miss her just as much as I always have. There's a giant hole in her kid's life. She was an aunt, a sister, a daughter, a friend. She didn't deserve to be stolen from us like this.
Speaking of the children, how are they doing?
They seem to be doing okay. They're at that age and they're boys, so they don't really talk about their emotions very much, but they just need all the love they can get. So, yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Some very sensitive questions there by our Harry Boomer from the sister of Lacey Cunningham, who again was shot and killed by her own husband, as you heard, shot 3 times in their garage and found dead days later by authorities. That's going to wrap it up. We will have this story and all of the day's breaking news when we start 3.5 hours of news and first alert weather on Channel 19 at 3 o'clock. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a good afternoon.